She was just like that. She was just snapping off. She gave this kid a chance. She bailed him out. She was the originator of No Kid Left Behind, chat. She literally bailed him out of his debt, and the kid was, he was grateful for it. He actually joined my group because he saw me making money. I told him no, and he went and joined the girl that bailed him out, right? Eventually, he was actually caught stealing her money, which is illegal, chat. You cannot steal money in the real world and in our elementary school. And he was caught stealing money, and then I think in the end, all of his debt reappeared. Like he was punished like severely, chat. He had no debts. He was back on the streets. It's like he won the lottery, and then he won a free ticket out of jail, but he was like, I don't know, the system broke him, chat. He couldn't survive on the outside with the rest of us. He was just, it's whatever. It's here nor there. But in our system, right, because every dollar was equal to each other, chat, when we became the richest, we were literally like, we were ruling the school. Our class ruled the school, chat. You couldn't do anything now. Even in recess, the money held power. It wasn't just a class thing. Even though it originated in the class, it became everywhere. And this is where our story takes a turn. Because sorry, chat, I had to turn off some lights, but this is where our story takes a turn. Because with all this money and power, chat, it got to my head, As a little kid, seeing all these people come up to me, ask me for things, knowing that I had the money, and like, Kosi, can I just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, chat? Can I just have a few bucks? Can you loan me a few bucks? Chat, I would literally write on paper who would give me, the money I would loan people to. I would show it to the teacher. Because, chat, there was like a whole banking system going on. So if I gave you money, like if the teacher knew that somebody gave you money specifically as a loan and you didn't pay it back, the teacher would give me my money back and then make you pay it back and give the money back to her. It was crazy, chat. But it was efficient and it worked. And there was many times, like when you had movie days, where I would come out and I would start selling things. It was just popping off. You just knew, when you had an opportunity to sell things and make money, you had to take it. You'd be a fool if you didn't. All right. And chat, those were like the best memories I had until the great cul-de-sac war would come of this. I wouldn't know what would come of this, chat. I didn't know how many friends I would lose along the way, but it was crazy. Coming to the end of summer, even though some people were giving up on the money because they knew it wouldn't be worth anything going into the next grade, I didn't. Alright, chat? I didn't want to give up on that power. And as I was riding the hype, I brought it to my neighborhood. All the kids in my neighborhood also went to the same school as I did, chat. So we all had the money. All had the power. But the Frankish bucks that I had, we all know held more power and had more value than, like, Mr. Smith's dollars. Because there weren't enough of his dollars, chat. Like, if you had them, they were cool and all, but everyone had, like, Frank bucks. Alright, chat? And that's what became the strongest currency. Even though all of our currency was the same, a Mr. Smith buck was still $1. It was like, no one wants that. You know what I'm saying? No one wants that toilet paper. No one wants a Mr. Smith buck. Everyone wants Frankish bucks because everyone has Frankish bucks. It's like the supreme of money, chat. And we got on the ground floor, chat. We were in the class where the Supreme was making the shoes. We got to touch them first, chat. And then we would distribute them to everyone else. It was crazy, chat. But I had power. Even though I wasn't the most richest, I still had power. I was one of the competitors. I was a heavy hitter. I would say if this was companies, I would be like I was like the Dylans, chat. You don't think of the Dylans as a heavy competitor, but everywhere you go, you see a Dylans. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was up there. I made money, chat. I made money. That's all I'm saying. You had Dylans, you had Walmart, and then you had stuff like, that one girl. We'll call her Shanique. Shanique had money. She had buku bucks. If I was Dylans and my boy, Sean was Walmart, she was Amazon, bro. She was leagues above us. We couldn't touch her, all right? We couldn't touch her if we tried. But I was up there, chat. I was one of the big three, all right? I was one of the big three. Everyone knew me as one of the richest people there. But I didn't want to give up my riches like the rest of the people did. Like the rest of the two of the big three did. They gave up their riches. She donated her riches to like people that were poor. I didn't want to do that, chat. I want to keep my generation strong, alright, chat? When people were switching over and giving their money away, I was retaining my power. Alright, chat? It was my God-given right to have that money. So I brought it to my neighborhood. Because I knew if I could keep this going in my neighborhood, I would keep my power for generations. My kids would come up to me and be like, Papa, can you tell us a story of how we acquired our riches, our fortune, our great fortune? And I'll sit by the fireplace as I do now, chat, to you right now, and tell them this wonderful story. If it was wonderful. But this story came at a cost and took a dark toll. When I brought this to my neighborhood, all my friends, all my close friends, they were on it, chat. They were on it. We were selling toys for fake money. Alright, chat? We'd sell some of our toys for fake money. We'd do like little tours around our backyard. Because in my backyard I had a little garden. So I'll give people tours, like the neighborhood kids tours around my backyard for the fake money, chat. We would sell like little Capri Suns and Oreos at the end of the tour for like the fake money. So my money became our money became let's keep it real. My money became the strongest, chat. So my money would become the strongest and I would retain my riches. But then something happened. Alright? A coup came to destroy our prosperous society just in its infancy, chat. As we were getting it started, as people started to do things, a girl came up. We'll call her Parker, alright? This girl came up. Parker said to me, my friends, Logan and Sean from before. Me, Logan, and Sean looked at Parker. She came with her friends, Jesse and Jane, alright? Parker came with Jesse, Jane, me, Logan, and Sean, facing off, alright? The neighborhood in awe. Because in our neighborhood, us six, we were like the main character. We were like the leaders in our neighborhood. So they came up to us and we were talking about the currency. Because they wanted to start their own. Chat. And me, Logan, and Sean knew this could not be. Alright, chat? Because that would destroy our currency, making it a competitor. So we told them if they tried to make their own, we would not recognize it and we would not use it as actual currency. So they went back and we went about our business. Kids came around as we started to accumulate our money. Alright, chat? We started accumulating our money. Kids would start trading with one another. It was cool. It was fine. It was peace in our earthly kingdom. All right, in our neighborhood, in our cul-de-sac. All right, on our little slice of heaven. Then Parker came to Sean, and Sean came to me. I couldn't believe the message he brought to my ears. All right, as I was stroking my chin, looking on at awe among what I've built in my neighborhood, Sean came to me with the most devastating news. Parker and the rest of the neighborhood and her side of the neighborhood. In chat, when I said her side, she owned a sizable chunk, chat. I'm not gonna lie. Because the kids that followed Parker, they're mostly girls, chat. Maybe like one or like three boys, but it was mostly girls. On her side of the cul-de-sac, decided that it would be illogical to use anybody's money except for real life money. So she wanted to institute the USD, already established dollar bill, into our society. And the rest of the neighborhood kids on her side had agreed to this. Our side has we didn't hear about it. Sean told me, but she promised she didn't tell anybody else except for the kids on her side that they were not going to be using the fake currency anymore. They're going to be using dollar bills because we didn't accept her fake currency. All right. So now they were using actual money, real life money, and this completely destroyed our economy, chat. We saw a Great Depression like no other. I saw children on the streets begging for money, chat. And my heart sank to my stomach. And I shed a tear for what had come to my great society was now destroyed because of a thief, chat. She was a thief. Because she stole our prosperity. She was jealous of it. And she stole it and replaced it with, oh, it's dumb trading real life things for fake money. We should trade real life things for real money. I'm like, huh? Chat, we're still in elementary, alright? We don't have money. We have hopes and dreams and creativity. We're supposed to use this as our real life money. But she wanted to destroy it. So I came to my side of the neighborhood. As many kids saw this as a logical move and said, yes, she is right, even on my side, chat. The loyalty in our money was weakening. And many kids went over to her side begging for money, begging for real life money. Could you believe this, chat? So I sat with my council. I sat with Sean Logan, and I talked amongst us, and we came to the conclusion that the only way we would ever be able to regain our strength and prosperity was if we revolted, chat. We would need to invade the other side of the cul-de-sac, chat, cross the border, and remove the threat once and for all in order to restore peace and prosperity we had in the olden times, chat. We had in our great empire. So, moving off, chat. Moving off. We grabbed and we recruited some men, some strong men and women of our school. We loaded more Nerf guns than you could ever see, chat. We had an arsenal. We were already prepared. Come on, chat. We were elementary boys. Of course we had Nerf guns. We equipped those who did not have Nerf guns, and those who did not And those who did not have enough Nerf guns, because of course we ran out, chat. Those who didn't get the Nerf guns went to McDonald's, because McDonald's used to give out Nerf guns, chat, in their Happy Meals and stuff, and got a Happy Meal and got a Nerf gun. Became locked and loaded. Some kids even went to Walmart for this, chat. Grabbed a Nerf gun rifle and became locked and loaded. But as we were going to launch our invasion into the western side of our cul-de-sac, because we were on the east. It was east versus the west. This was the real Cold War, chat. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This was the real Cold War. It was about to get hot real quick. Because the western side of the cul-de-sac, the larger side of the cul-de-sac, heard about this. And before we knew it, as we were about to begin our invasion and tell them to cease and desist on all merchandise and all trade in the West, and to reinstate the Frankish dollar, the Frankish dinar, as the true and only currency to be used in any type of selling or buying of goods and services, the first shot was fired. And no other than that council member Sean was hit by one of Parker's lackeys. Alright? And this had me break down. I had to drag Sean by my own two hands, chat, back to our side of the neighborhood. We had, and this was unexpected. Not a word was said before a shot was fired, and Sean was the first to be hit. I looked at him in his eyes. He told me not to let his death be in vain, chat. A tear ran down my face. I couldn't forget it. He told me that he had a little sister, and he told me to tell her that he loves her. And don't let his death be in vain. Don't let everything we were building up to be for naught. I pinned him down. I let one of our medics tend to him. Alright, chat? Not enough band-aids we had could fix that wound. He passed shortly after. And that would start our Great War, the Great Cul-de-sac War of 2010, chat. We would set up tents and barricades along the street. Cars couldn't even get into the cul-de-sac anymore. And we would shoot at each other. This did not last for a day or a week. Chat, this lasts for 3 weeks, chat. Constant fire. Back and forth. The rattling of Nerf machine guns could be heard all throughout the neighborhood. It was crazy and destructive. Kids would hide in trees, hide behind corners. Betrayal, deceit. People from both sides switching over, trying to get the upper hand on one another. Double agents, triple agents, quadruple agents, chat. Chat. And when there was blood in the streets, as the old saying goes, when there's blood in the streets, there's money to be made. Some kids even profit. Some sick children even profit from this awful time, chat. Some kids would start selling Nerf bullets and Nerf guns for extremely high prices. But we had no choice, chat. We had no choice. I can remember the great battle that would decide the fate of which currency would prevail. It was the great battle for the black box. We had gotten news, chat. On the 3rd week of this invasion, most of our men were tired and worn. Many of them injured from previous battles. Some scraped their knees on concrete, some on grass, some flat out had jammed fingers because they ran into trees or they fell over on accident, chat. It was terrible. But we had gotten news that on the other side there was a black box in the heart of enemy territory. Me and Logan, with the memory of Sean still breathing as roaring as this fire is breathing before us right now, chat. The memory of him still going. We set off with a group of 10 other kids in the heart of enemy territory. The enemy had about 20 kids stationed there, chat. But we did not come to play. We brought our best equipment and best weaponry. Machine guns. We had two Nerf machine guns. Two Nerf assault rifles. What was it? We had like 10 kids. We had like 5 others with just regular rifles, and everyone else had a pistol. Alright, chat? We were coming in there like black ops, chat. We were ready to take down the threat to not only our society, but possibly the United States and the world as a whole. In this black box, we did not know what could be in it, but what we've heard was weapons of mass destruction, chat. See, this is where what was his name? George Bush got that from. This is what he was actually talking about. The weapons of mass destruction was in our neighborhood, and we were planning to take it from these economic terrorists, chat. We launched in the afternoon while an army of 20 girls and some boys were ready. Now, she had a play set, like a little, you know how those playgrounds and had the slide and the tube and had a little watchtower. Yeah, that's what she had. She had a watchtower, chat. She had a little watchtower. And from that watchtower, she had one machine gun, one girl stationed on the machine gun. I can never forget this. 2 girls outside from the gate. And she had the rest of the girls just walking around. Some were armed and some were unarmed, chat. And all this was in her backyard. And then she had the little black box inside the watchtower, chat. It was heavily guarded. It was like guarded by like 5 girls, and they were circled around the watchtower. And people were going just in, walking and talking and doing business, because during that time there was a little truce going on and negotiations were being settled. Alright? We had sent one of our chief diplomats to discuss negotiations with Parker. So Parker was busy discussing negotiations, having milk and cookies. But her tea time would be cut short, chat, as we would break in to her backyard and unload an unholy amount of Nerf bullets, chat. And when I'm telling you, we took like 2 casualties during that whole run. The 2 casualties came from when we were entering the grounds. 2 shots were fired, a couple shots hit 2 of our men. We had to pull them back. We had a medic with us, so he stayed with those 2 men, trying to keep them stable, as the rest of the 7 of us went in and we went guns blazing. Alright, we said for Sean as we shot down. First we shot down the machine gunner, and then we unloaded our machine guns on top of them, hitting everyone, even Parker. We hit Parker. We told our diplomat to get down. We were shooting everyone. I even think somebody hit our diplomat, chat. I think somebody shot and killed our diplomat. But it was a necessary casualty to get the black box. But Parker, like the sneaky snake she is, was able to get away, and we could not find her. We were looking, I'm telling you, chat, we were looking all through the neighborhood trying to find where she went, because she was right there in front of us. And the only reason we took our eyes off of her because one of the girls, with her last draw of breath, started shooting the machine gun back from the watchtower and started shooting it at us, and we had to scatter and run away and flee. And then when we came back, after one of our snipers with the rifle took her down, finally, we saw Parker was gone. And our chief diplomat was also shot, but who cares? Alright? He was shot and killed in action. You know, we brought his body back to his family. It was, you know, we had a little funeral for everybody. But we were this close, chat. We were so close to getting the black box, but the black box was gone. We came back. We were disappointed. Not as soon as a sigh of disappointment and defeat came over us, we had gotten news that Parker was spotted in a pink tent behind one of her dad's trucks. Alright? She had Parker's dad had a couple trucks, but Parker was spotted with I think Jane? It was either Jane or Janice, and those two were in the pink tent with the black box. So me and Logan were launched the final mission of the Great Cul-de-sac War. It was Operation Black Box, chat. You know? We didn't come up with super creative names, but it was called Operation Black Box. The first operation was called Operation Hawkeye because of the Watchtower person, and we thought that the Watchtower person would surely get all of us, but she was not paying attention and she got shot. Alright? This operation was called Operation Black Box. In this operation, we'd go in simply, as if we were discussing peace. We'd whip out our guns and then tell her to give us the black box. That was the whole plan. So we went over there with our hands up and we said, Parker, we would like to discuss peace. We would like to discuss peace between our two sides of the neighborhood. She came out. We saw the black box behind her as she left the tent. Janice was still in the tent. And Parker said, okay, we could talk. We could talk inside the tent. Now, Logan, he was looking, and we had a signal. Because we wanted to make sure she didn't have any weapons on her. Because if we pulled our weapons and she pulled her weapons, it was going to be a shootout, and we didn't want that. We wanted it to be a simple hostage situation. He looked at me. He blinked twice. 2 blinks means she has no weapon. 1 blink means she does. Man looked at me, and we did discreetly too. He looked at me, and he was like, okay, blink twice. I instantly knew. I whipped out my gun. Whipped out my Nerf pistol, chat. He whipped out his. And we told her to get inside the tent. She put her hands up. She got inside the tent. She said, I thought you came here to discuss peace. That's what she told me. I said, yeah. So how about we discuss some peace so you don't end up in pieces? That's what, you know what I'm saying? We were slick. We were slick, chat. We were slick. We came up with cool ass one-liners. We told her to open the black box and told her and show us what's inside. Inside the black box, there was a piece of paper. It had written out plans on basically how she was running her system of government over on the western side. It was also plans on how much ammo they had. It was basically what was it? What would that be called, chat? It was an inventory, chat. It was like a worksheet inventory of basically everything that was going on in their side. We looked at it. We sighed. We thought it would be something bigger or grander, but it wasn't. But we still took it anyway. We took it as a sign of victory. We brought Parker over to the eastern side. And at this point, there was so much bloodshed, so many people that have lost their lives during the Great Cul-de-sac War of 2010, that people, they even care about the money. Both currencies at this point have been so saturated to the point where that there was only like one kid who actually had money, the real life money. He made like $20 off this, and then a kid who had Frankish money, who had like $1,000 in Frankish money. But so little kids didn't have any money, and nobody wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to use it anymore. They became obsolete. Both currencies became obsolete. And, you know, no one ever talked about it. But I came back here on this stream to talk about the Great War of 2010 in our cul-de-sac. Because I did not want this war to be forgotten, chat. And you already heard that bling on my thing, so I'm about to end the stream. I hope y'all learned some history, some U.S. history today. All right, and don't forget the veterans of our time, chat, of the Great 2010 Nerf War, because we